What's your name, scumbag?
Sir, Private Brown, sir!
Bullshit. From now on, you're Private Snowball. Do you like that name?
Sir, yes, sir!
Well, there's one thing that you won't like, Private Snowball. They don't serve fried chicken and watermelon on a daily basis in my mess hall.
Sir, yes, sir!
Welcome to the very first interview where the Academy is being interviewed by the world.
Whoa.
And Light of an Air. Light of an Air.
By
You
way
came
of.
here with some confusion, with some questions. You came here hoping to bring some hope to all the lost folks like yourself who are too scared to be associated with the Academy, and also to get some contentions answered. You have the floor, my man. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to start by, I want to lead in with just some of the things I appreciate so much about the Academy and how this was the very first place ever that really told me the truth about a lot of stuff that to me is now obvious that I had never gotten anywhere else, and that just shocked me into interest. Like what, Craig? Like what, LTA? Well, just your very firm position that no, which is provable by all of our experiences in life, that no, women are not the same, and they are not as capable as men are of doing so many important functions in society that they just don't have, they just cannot follow through on. And we've all seen this, we've all experienced it, and there's just absolutely no one else calling the emperor naked, if you will. And that was the hook for me. That really got me in. And dang it. Okay. I also really appreciated that the Academy gives this course, this path that is something that a man can actually do and actually follow himself, as opposed to just complaining and stewing about how the world done him wrong, if you will.
Okay.
And I never heard that either. And this is where I think you really come into your own as an alternative to say, the whole MRA perspective, I could never manage that. Not really, not for long. Because what I hear there, even though I keep going back to it, what I hear over and over is, here is how we men are being victimized by changes in law, by changes in technology, the evolution of culture away from the evolutionary, what's it called? The evolutionary era or what have you. And that just leaves me with nowhere to go. I'm not going to try to march. I'm not going to suck up to the government with my life because it worked for women, so why won't it work for us? There's something humiliating about that. And I can't live that life, even in my imagination. And then you got the PUA angle over here in the whole game stuff, which says, oh, yes, we're victims, but let's victimize them too. And that I just can't live with either. I can't. I've seen the graphs about, the more men that a guy has, the more men that a woman has, the less emotionally able
Hold on a
she is.
second. There's some
Where?
faggot on a motorcycle. I have to close the window. I just want to put out Manhood Academy wants to put out a public service message. If you ride a motorcycle, kill yourself. You fucking smogging motherfuckers. You loud, pretentious children. Brrr, fucking everywhere you go. That's it. We're done offending the crowd, the motorcycle crowd.
Go. And I'm trying to say, I couldn't go the MRA route just because that feels like I'm just fully accepting that I'm a victim and that's the best I can do. I can't quite do the PUA angle because I don't want to victimize anybody else. I don't want to use people to try to fill holes within me. And I
Or
can't
fill
do
their
the
holes.
What's that?
Or fill their holes.
And also, I cannot do the MGTOW angle either because no matter how much I ever tried, I know that
You like women.
There's going to be a need in me, and it's going to be there forever. And I just can't pretend my way out of it, or zen my way out of it,
Or wear a luchador wrestler mask out of it.
A luchador wrestler mask. Is that what the Mexican fellas have?
That's one of the MGTOWs who criticized us. He wore a luchador Mexican mask and let everybody know that he conquered his sexuality.
The fella with the 2 foot tall.
Yeah, some kind of weird doll he was standing next to. I don't know if it was his real doll, his companion who he talks to at night. I'm not sure. That's neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Let's continue. So, thanks. So, now I'm going to start complaining.
Yeah,
This is
let's
not-
get to it.
This is not logical debate. I'm just owning this.
Let's do it.
Because, damn it, man, I know I'm a child. I can feel it. I can feel it every day that I'm an infant. Like, I can design you a space shuttle, or at least part of one. I can program a computer. I can do all this stuff, right? I have all this power over energy and engineering and objects and all of these very important principles. Yes, I'm just so fucking powerful. But I go NoFap or the challenge for 2 weeks, and this powerful physical, emotional need comes over me. Talking about being without porn or masturbation for a little while. And I know that I don't know what to do about it. And so I'm right back to being a baby, right? Like I could build you a hot rod out of pop.
We got that. What's the contention? Let's get to the contention.
The contention is I don't want to fucking do it. All this stuff about all the expression posts I could do. I really enjoyed those parts.
I didn't.
The expectation management, where you go talk about your interactions with people and with women and where you fell down and where you didn't.
Right.
Damn it, man. I was just overwhelmed by just...
Okay, good. I'm glad you brought that up because we scrapped it. We listened to your feedback. We said, look, it's not useful. It's useless. We threw it all out. Now our training is even more intensive. We have face-to-face hangouts where we teach you in person the exact things we're trying to get down in written form, but in a much faster and much more intensive format. It's more relevant to your life. Rather than writing things down and, recording experiences and whatnot and then having us talk about it later on or in a removed sense, we are directly teaching you how to govern relationships with men first, which will translate into governing relationships with women because they work the same way as far as the governing goes, as far as exercising authority goes. So we teach you how to do that in these face-to-face hangouts, just like we're having right now. And that's where most of our training takes place nowadays at the Academy. In fact, we barely even write other than, doing hangouts or just announcing hangouts. We close down the relationship section. Forget about fucking writing about it because we figured it's useless at this point. It's much more effective and much more efficient for students to train in person and learn how to form the relationships in person and learn where they're fucking up instantly in person. We find it's much more effective. So we completely scrapped, I would say, 95% of the writing in the forum.
How about that? Well, awesome.
And as a result, we've seen a lot more progress.
How about that?
I wish we had done it from the start, but hey, we're slow learners. What can we say?
Learning is allowed. Absolutely.
Learning is allowed here.
And here, one more gripe, and then I'll get personal with you.
Oh, sick. I can't wait.
Just once. Okay. Another part that made me... One of the things that was in my head when I wandered off last time, I kept coming back to, Man Academy, do, get your needs met. And you know what? At least where I am today, my needs just aren't that interesting to me. Like, how many billion people are there on the earth? And is this emasculation? Is this nobility? Am I too faggy for it? Am I too good for it? I don't know. I don't understand. But, I don't find I just could not consistently find my own needs, my own desires in life to be so damn important and interesting to me.
Okay, let's address it this way. Are you interested in eating food?
Yes.
Are you interested in sex?
Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of? You couldn't even do the NoFap challenge. What are you talking about, sort of?
Right.
Are you interested in sex?
Yes.
Are you interested in food?
I hate admitting it. I hate that.
Okay, well, sorry you have to admit it, but I just want to make a point for you.
That's all right. No, do it.
Okay. So you like food, we've established you like sex, you're interested in both of those, and are you interested in companionship? Talking to people, etc., hanging out with people? Absolutely? Absolutely? Okay, so you say that ranks the highest? Companionship?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You're interested in your needs. Next question. You're full of shit when you say you're not interested, or you're talking about things that don't matter that aren't really needs, but your base needs, the practical needs we're talking about right now, I don't need to ask you about air and, whether you need to breathe oxygen. I already know you need that, but for all intents and purposes, you're a normal guy, so don't even worry about I'm not interested in my needs. It's a silly assertion. You're talking about something else that's not your needs. Or you're just in denial, like you just answered now. Oh, I hate that I need sex, but I do need sex. Yes.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. And this is in the ebook, of course. I'm sure it's still there. I read it a couple times, but that was a couple years ago. But it's right there in the ebook itself that the more emasculated you are for longer, and you start to hate your own needs. I remember that.
You may, I don't know if it's in there. I don't remember writing that. If you hate your own needs, I mean, it's like saying sour grapes. It's just like the MGTOWs. If they can't get women, they don't have access to women, they don't know how to form relationships with women, then they start going, oh, sour grapes. Oh, that bitch is too fat. Oh, that bitch is too evil. Oh, that bitch is too Americanized. I hate her. It's the sour grape syndrome. It's a lot of the MGTOWs have.
Yeah, I'm pretty far down that road. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you could just make any excuse, like if a woman doesn't talk to you, say, oh, fuck that bitch. Oh, she's a cunt anyway. Oh, she's evil. Oh, she's got an attitude. I didn't want to be with her anyway. Oh, look at her fucking face.
I don't even try to talk to him anymore.
Okay, there you go. That's an advanced sour grapes. Oh, those grapes are going to be sour anyway. I'm not even going to bother trying to get to them.
Advanced sour grapes.
Fuck those grapes. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay, here's the one, if this is criticism, here's the one thing I want to bring up. Okay. Professor.
Yes.
You've dated, you've been with, whether lowercase been with or capital uppercase been with, like dozens and dozens and dozens of women in your life.
At least.
At least. Now, don't ever catch me denying that I'm amazed and jealous about that.
Oh, you shouldn't
But
be.
also, okay, but the fact that you're still dating, you're still doing this, you still haven't worked it out.
Not
Some
by
crack the
choice.
code, what have you.
Not by choice. I know how to form relationships with women. If there's a woman that I wanted that kind of matched what I'm looking for in a companion, I would settle for her in a heartbeat. If I could get with a fat chick that I really fell in love with, I would settle for her in a heartbeat. But my heart just hasn't attached to that person. It's not for lack of ability to attach or have the girl be attracted to me. It would be one thing if I was pursuing relationships and couldn't get a woman to stay in a relationship with me. That's not the problem. Every girl I've been in a relationship will fall in love with me. And I don't say that because I'm a handsome guy, which most people think that's the basis of a relationship. You're either rich or you're a handsome guy. I'm neither. But because I know how to exercise authority properly in a relationship, the inevitable result is for a woman to fall in love with you. And I'm not just saying this as a boast for me. I'm saying this as proof, meaning this is a normal expectation. It's not a Superman expectation. Most people see me as Superman because they don't know how to make a woman fall in love with them. But I'm letting you know that this is just an indication of how abnormal our culture is today, that men don't know how to make a woman fall in love with them. They have no clue. They think it's the money, the dress code, the shave, the no shave, the wax your eyelashes, the no wax your eyelashes, the get lifts in your shoes.
Be more heartless.
Be more heartless, be an asshole.
Be more violent.
Be violent, be aloof, be this or that, be the nice guy like this Devo guy is fucking absurd. Try to be friends with women, try to shake hands with them. He's fucking clueless. So a lot of these guys have these same delusional views about women, and they have no clue how to do it. They're just talking out of their asshole. I bet if we interviewed this guy or took a hidden camera around with Devo, we'd see how fucking successful he is with women. So a lot of guys have these delusions and illusions about what causes attraction to women and how to get a girlfriend. They have no clue how to do that. I know how to do that. But I'm not saying this as I know how to do that, haha, fuck you. I'm saying I know how to do it in the sense of you guys don't know how to eat with a fork, and I know how to eat with a fork. Here's how to do it. I figured it out. That's in the sense I'm saying it. I'm saying it is in the sense that I know how to teach you how to do it, just like I know how to tame a horse. If I made the claim, hey, I know how to tame a horse, most of you wouldn't say, oh, you're bragging, you could tame a horse. You're saying, oh, that's something helpful. If I'm a cowboy, I need to know how to tame a horse. That's the exact sense I'm saying that to you, in that I know how to form a relationship with a woman. I know how to get a woman to fall in love with me. I know how to make a functional relationship like that. I know how to do it just the same way I know how to drive a car. So I realize that I have an ability that should be a normal thing with men, but it's very abnormal, which is just a testimony to how abnormal our culture is today, that men think that women falling in love with them is some magnificent feat that's only reserved for special types of men, alpha males, or just blind luck, right? You just gotta find that one. There's all the fucking faggot Disney movies out there. You just gotta look for the one. She could be trapped in a mountaintop in Russia or in a gulag in Siberia somewhere, or she's a mail order bride in China, or she's living behind you next door and you grew up with her, you just didn't realize it. It's all these fucking faggot fairy tales about how to bonk heads in the peanut butter aisle and suddenly you fall in love. Complete and utter bullshit. These writers of these movies, these directors of the culture in Hollywood that permeate our media today have no fucking clue how to form a relationship, how to form a functional relationship with a woman. I do.
Well, maybe they do know, and they're telling us something else, so that we'll
If they
keep going
did
to
know,
movies instead of other stuff.
Are you fucking retarded? If they knew, they would be billionaires, right? They'd be making books, bottling secrets, I don't know what they'd call it, but they'd be, there'd be droves and millions of people buying their books, buying their information if it works. It doesn't work. Are you fucking retarded? You know how many guys grew up with a Disneyland notion? I know from personal experience, and most of these guys know here from personal experience, because they're raised on that type of bullshit. They behave according to that bullshit. If that really worked, why would this academy, why would this academy even exist if that worked?
No, I'm not saying it does. I'm saying if it's dysfunctional, if it does not work, it keeps people coming back to movies. It keeps people coming back to
well, all right. You create a problem to solve the problem. All right. So you're basically essentially saying they're a program that puts a virus on their computer while selling the antivirus program. Okay, maybe, but the point is, it doesn't work. That's my bottom line point. It does not work. I know how to do what works, and I teach people how to do what works, and they see the results when I teach them how to do it the way that I'm doing it. So I'm working from experience firsthand. I have had all these relationships, but to, again, find the companion that I want, it's not something that I could just choose and say, this is the girl. Because sometimes I meet a pretty girl that I'm interested in, at least physically, and she's just not into me. She might have a boyfriend. She might have a husband, fiance, whatever situation is preventing that from going forward. So there isn't a possibility of forming the relationship. It's out of my control, right? I can't just force her. I don't have some magic technique where I just force somebody to love me. That's not how it works. But there are people that I'm dating in the meantime to get my sex needs met because I'm not able to yet find that companion that I want. And I'm not seeing these women as a long-term thing. Like I want to fall in love with this woman. It's just I have needs. I have companionship needs. I get lonely. I have sexual urges. So then I form relationships with women. And I know the bad part about it is I know that if I'm with them long enough and I'm governing them properly, they're going to fall in love. I'm going to break their heart. It's going to be a disaster. So I go into it knowing that, and I feel guilty about it. I do, and I don't like it. But by the same token, it's hard for me to just say, stop having needs. Stop feeling lonely. Stop feeling sexual urges. Stop needing women. It'd be easier to say stop being hungry. So I realize it's impossible to deny a need. I don't know how to do that. But I do know how to form a relationship, and hopefully one day I will find that person who meets my companionship need. Because getting the sexual need met is not even an issue. I mean, I could right now knock on a door and having a blowjob in about 5 minutes if I really wanted to. So the sex is not what I'm looking for. The companionship is what I'm looking for at this point. And it's not as simple as just saying, oh, I choose you, therefore you're mine. I mean, if it was that easy, I'd be settled down long ago. Does that answer your question, or did you have a...
Well, I'll have to go back over this a few times.
Okay.
When it's posted. Is there anything... Okay. I was calling up my little post I did here on Craig's Corner, and I'm just trying to think of what I want to bring up next. And that is, I just want to hear what you have to say to this. This is not like argument. I just want to hear what you have to say to it, and other fellas do too.
Okay.
Like, it's funny. The last time that I tried to get sex with a woman, that was years ago. And the crazy thing is that it worked. Mm-hmm. And I was freaked out by that. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, I could have been washing dishes with this girl, but also I couldn't get the condom on. And I'm not quite... It's like I knew I was fake on the inside. And I knew that I was not really serious. At some level I can't explain to you. And ever since then, I honestly haven't tried. And it's not that well, yes, I'm too cowardly to try, but also I'm at a point where I don't even buy it. I don't even buy that there's somewhere to go. Like you got all of this cultural pushing against you.
Right.
I mean, you personally, you've got all of this law pressing against you. Like, you're really out there trapezing over concrete.
Well, the problem with that is that's the MGTOW view that the legal system, if a woman doesn't like you, she's going to say you're committing sexual assault, you're raping me, etc., and then you're fucked. Look, you could get hit by a car, you could get hit by a meteor, you could get hit by a bus if you step outside your house, so people still do it. But the difference is we have an awareness, we have an idea of how to perform a certain thing, a certain action, a certain skill. You can get killed driving a car. If you don't know how to drive a car, your odds of getting into an accident increase dramatically. But if you're a skilled driver and you've driven before and you feel confident because you have that skill, it's not a problem for you to get in a car and drive daily, even though there are accidents on the freeway. With women, most people just don't even have the skill flat out, so it's even a more daunting task. I say before you even worry about the fucking legal aspects and all the other bullshit and culture and how you should act, how a man should act, how a woman should behave around a man, even worry about all that social bullshit, you first learn how to govern a relationship, a friendship with a guy, because that translates, and it'll change how you deal with people in general. If you learn how to deal with people in a functional way, then forming a relationship with a woman will not seem like what it is now, because you're looking at it through the lens of an emasculated male, a guy who is too timid to get his expectations met with both men and women, who doesn't know how to get his needs met in a relationship. You just know how to beg for things. You know how to turn women off. So not only will you get bad responses from women, you also will fall in that category of a guy who would come off as quote, quote, creepy. Like girls have to say, oh, this guy's creepy. So without understanding how to govern a relationship properly and how to stand up for yourself, you will have this view of women as this adversarial relationship with women. You'll have this, I don't want to deal with them because there's a potential of lawsuit ending in jail or some other horrible outcome. But when you learn how to govern a relationship properly, this is not something you unlearn. It's something that sticks with you. It changes how you view the world. It changes your realizations about life. So just like when you ride a bike, before you ride a bike, you're like, oh, this thing will never stay up. It's wobbly. It's dangerous. I don't know how to do it. I need training wheels. But once you get going and you're balancing, it seems like nothing. Like I can get on a bike right now blindfolded. It's not even a big deal. I don't worry about tipping over. I just feel like I know how to balance. But when you're a kid and you've never balanced on a bike before, it's daunting. Your whole view is governed by that inability, that lack of skill. Right now, your whole worldview of women is governed by your inability to get your needs met with them, your lack of authority, your lack of relationship management skills. That colors how you view women and how you approach women, or even if you approach women. So it's no wonder that you don't want to try to get in a relationship with women at this point, because you don't know how to do it properly, and there's a good chance you'll fuck it up and hurt yourself in the process. So we're teaching you how to not fuck it up so you can get there. So you can approach a woman, so you can talk to a woman in a social situation, and be confident when you're talking to her that you can get her phone number, go on a date with her, and not have her worry about she's calling you a creep or a rapist.
No one's sued you on false rape charges by now, and that helps prove that.
Well, I've had legal run-ins with women when I was an emasculated male. Like I just grew up like everybody else, and I didn't know what to do. I've had my share of women because I've talked to an abnormally large amount of women, so I've had every reaction from women saying, "You're sexually assaulting me" by looking at them, or "You're creepy because you said hello and we're not ready to do it," or I didn't even approach them and didn't even, I wasn't even confident enough to talk to a woman properly. So there's all kinds of little problems that come up when you are an emasculated male and you don't know how to present yourself. You don't know how to tell people your needs. You don't know how to tell people what you expect out of them in a relationship. You don't know how to govern a woman who definitely needs to be governed in a relationship. If you don't know how to do those things, dealing with women is very daunting and it's dangerous. I don't mean that like literally stabbing dangerous, but it's dangerous to how you value yourself as a man. If you look at yourself and go,
it feels like death is coming. Absolutely, man. It feels like, oh my God, I don't even know what I have to do with this person.
Yes,
like,
this is why the Academy exists. The Academy answers this question.
No, I mean,
sorry we had to answer it, but we do answer this question.
Great, that's great. That's great.
Anything else?
Anything else? I guess I can just say that if I come back, I'm not even after trophies and candy anymore.
Look, nobody gives a fuck what you're after. You're a delusional guy. We're just going to teach you how to have a normal relationship with a guy, how to present what you need, and how to get that need met. Once you are able to do that, you'll realize, oh, this translates to anybody I'm talking to any situation. So you don't have to worry about, I'm not going to conquer this, or you're talking from the delusional point of view right now. First, we're going to tell you how to manage a relationship here at the Academy. Once you get that down, then you can worry about all your other neurotic bullshit.
Okay. That's about it. Thanks.
Well, I think this was this educational or was this worthless? I can't tell. I felt like I explained some things, but I thought we covered.
We'll come back to it, but
I don't want to go back to it. It's long and dotty. You have a way of dragging out an interview for 10 hours longer than it should go. But I want to just hear from the audience if this was even worth it. I mean, do we need to post this, or have we already answered these questions? Would it be good for new students to hear, or people who are unfamiliar with the Academy to at least hear this?
I mean, I think you've answered a lot of these questions and debates and other interviews and the ebook and guided hangouts and podcasts. But I don't think it would hurt for you to post it.
Okay.
I think you should post it, if nothing else, to show your own personal experience, because with you, it's always just kind of an assumption. You have a lot of experience with women. You've had a lot of relationships. But for you to kind of divulge some more details of how it affects you, to me, it gives you a lot more credibility. Now, I've heard these stories before, 1,000 times over, or things similar to them. But the audience hasn't. So I think it would be good to post it and to, you know what? If we had the means, I would want every guided hangout recorded. Not every guided hangout, but like all the classes posted publicly so that people, the general public, can hear what you have to say. I think it's valuable. So I say it can't hurt.
Okay.
It can't hurt posting any of this.
It's actually a good point. Although, to the point that you're making about classes being public, but
We got that. We're not going to publicize your credit card number. It's just, I get the general point.
Let me be more specific. I mean, there's no information that the professor says, that the academy says, that could hurt to post except for identity things. Things like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's good for people to hear this. I myself, some of the things that you elaborated on, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why you say some of the things you do, because you were explaining it more thoroughly when LTA asked you some of those questions.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, there's 2 points. 2 reasons why this should be posted. One, it talks about how the academy has changed. It's no longer about writing expression posts and expectation management. It's just about going to Hangouts, and that's huge. Because Hangouts are so much easier. Well, they're actually harder.
They're harder and easier. It's not like less concentration to write things down, but also it's more intensive because you're actually learning like the where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, in a relationship.
They're more effective.
Right, but also the burden is taken off you. Like when you have to write an expression post, it's all you. Whereas other people force you to...
Right, they're helping you be accountable more in the Hangouts than just when you're by yourself with your
and
thoughts.
you should be socializing with others anyway, rather than sitting in isolation and writing a post.
Yeah, you're not going to learn to socialize if you're writing things. That's what I never really understood.
Well, it's not like we didn't have Hangouts or classes. It's just that we had an emphasis also on talking about your relationship so I could show you where things are going wrong in them. And I assume that people kind of saw things from my eyes as far as, you know, they can make mistakes, but at least write about them so that I could help them indirectly. But then I realized just because from the student response and just the frustration from the students that I had to be more direct, more specific. So the Hangouts just became a necessity rather than like the plan.
And the second point is that we get to learn about professors' history.
Yeah.
Piece by piece.
Like,
The piece to the puzzle, yeah. Piece
like
to
initially, I was like, why are we spending so much time on this guy? I mean, like every single student who drops out, we don't give him a whole interview. But
Well,
then
he
I
sounded like
realized-
he said. I have a feeling he was bullshitting us half the time. That he really was asking the questions for himself, for his own interest. But he said on behalf of a group of people, so I'm assuming they're all discussing the academy. And he's a philanthropic guy, and so he wants to ask questions on behalf of the world, so the academy can answer them.
Yeah, I was like, why are we wasting time? But then he started asking these questions. I'm like, wait, I want to know the answer to that too. I want to know professor's history. Like, why?
Yeah, I had a lot of questions answered too. I mean,
Yeah, how'd you become Batman, Professor?
Like,
Exactly.
I want to know what makes a good professor companion.
All right.
that's why I think this should be posted, because you hear professors, the way he talks, and you instantly think, oh, this guy is a guy that gets a lot of chicks. I believe it because of the way he talks. It makes me want to listen.
Well, he
Because
talks in the debates too.
well, I know, but the difference is in this one, he's talking about his history, and he's talking about how he gets all these relationships with girls, and that's significant to me because when I was coming into the academy, I had a hard time believing that I could ever be successful with girls because I'm an emasculated guy. I've had all sorts of failures, wanking and shit. And then to hear someone who sounds like the professor with his amount of success, and him saying that he's coming from a similar place, that's mind blowing. It's like, you mean that there's a chance that I could get better? That's why.
Well, I think that I don't think I'm really the greatest testimony, even though I have the most experience. I think the greatest testimony are the students themselves who improve, and you see them improving before your eyes, and you realize, wow, this guy last month or last year or last week was this way, and now listen to how he sounds. It's like night and day. You wouldn't think he was the same person.
So a lot of people view you as this person who has, who's this Mac Daddy pimp nigger, right? So this podcast, this debate interview, whatever it is, I think it bridges the gap because it makes you more relatable because you spoke a little bit about your history and where you came from. You were also emasculated. You were also shy. You didn't know how to talk to girls, etc.
Yeah, I think it's important so that people don't think like, because we always get this complaint. It only works with alpha males. This top 10% or 5% or whatever of males. There's a special breed of male. You're either born this way or not. So that is one of the most bullshitness that I hate the most out of the pickup artist community, and it's just perpetuated and it's just accepted and adopted by society at large now. So they all perpetuate that. Oh, there's alpha males. Like when you think alpha males, I instantly think frat bro. Big athletic guy that just get the hottest chicks, and that's it. They're restricted to those guys, those MMA fighters, any sport and a celebrity. If you're one of those guys, you're the lucky echelon. You get your pick of the hottest chicks, and if not, you're fucked. You just get the 7s on down. So that's how I thought society worked until I realized, wow, this is all complete, utter bullshit because I have experience now to back that up. So now I can transfer that experience to you guys, and I can teach you how to do that. That's more proof that it's not bullshit. It's not my life, because my life, you can believe it or not believe it. But if you see a student who was a certain way when he first came here, and then you see him now or today, the next day, and you go, wow, that guy was this way, and I thought of him as this dork or this loser, this quiet guy, this monotone loser nerd, and now, whoa, this is a guy I'd actually want to hang out with. I mean, I've seen it with Flappy. This guy is like a complete faggot. There's no way in hell when he first came here I would even entertain the idea of spending 5 minutes alone in a room with this guy. I thought, no way. Now I'm like, whoa, is this the same Flappy who showed up at the academy on the doorstep with the stork brought him? He's here, and he's evidence that what we're teaching here works. So the best proof is the students themselves. Like I said, when you guys gave your testimony in the last debate, and I was so impressed. You fuckers were taking notes, and you guys gave a more educational commentary on the debate than the fucking debater himself. That was very impressive for me. I was like, wow, I was blown away. So it's just a testament to what you're learning here. I mean, you listen back at some of the old debates, some of our first debates, and you hear some of the students, and I'm like, oh, I'm cringing, I'm fucking face palming. I'm like, oh, is this guy done yet? Now it's like, I don't know if there was a bad reaction. I mean, there were some that were slow and some that were just going a little off kilter, but every one I was like, wow. I was just thinking, these guys are students here. Wow. So I'm impressed. That's it. Any last questions, answers, comments? Blah, blah, blah. Thank you guys for another wonderful interview. What?
Can you talk to me about, to you, what's the difference between authority and power?
Authority and power. Authority is like power is like a car, a powerful car, right? Lamborghini. It's got a lot of power. It can go really fast, right? Everybody wants power. I want to be a Lamborghini. Boom, boom, boom. But authority is like a cop. Cop just says stop to the Lamborghini. Doesn't matter how much power is behind that car. The authority overrules the power. It's like the government. Government's got authority. You got your powerful men out there, right, in society. Big, strong guys can beat up any of the government officials, right? If you put a government official against who's the leading MMA champion, Brock Lesnar or who?
Brock Lesnar.
Okay, if you put anybody like Barack Obama against Brock Lesnar or Joe Biden against Brock Lesnar, right? Brock Lesnar's going to dominate them. But the government has authority over Brock Lesnar. So the government's in charge of all of the power. So that's the difference between authority and power. Ability versus right. Put it that way.
I strongly suspect that I still don't know what authority is.
I strongly suspect that too, and welcome back to the Academy. Thank you guys for another episode of Manhood Academy Interviews, where the world interviews the Academy. We'll see you next time.
Come on, man.